What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're going to take a look at all of the variants in the game for the SVO, the brand new sniper rifle that's, of course, added to the game. We're going to be going through all of the variants from Enlisted all the way to Legendary and kind of assessing which ones are good, what their stats are in case you haven't seen them, so you know which ones you should hunt for, which ones are good and which aren't good. And at the end, of course, going to go over which are the best variants for the SVO sniper rifle. And the gameplay you're going to be watching is of the Legendary version, the Return to Sender, with the iron sights, the attachments, in case you're wondering why it hasn't got a scope in it. But let's get into the actual variants. The first one is the Enlisted one, and this is the Eagle Eye. So this has +1 in fire rate and it has -1 in handling. So this is actually a pretty good variant. The +1 in fire rate allows you to do follow-up shots a lot quicker, and that's actually a very good thing for the SVO because the faster you shoot, the less the recoil is. If you shoot very slowly and allow the recoil to kind of affect every bullet, then you're going to get hit with the bad recoil every time. If you fire it very quickly, sometimes you actually get away with almost no recoil. The thing's very, very weird with its recoil, but the faster fire is definitely a very, very good thing. And the SVO is deadly. Like with an iron sight, as you'll see in this gameplay, I'm able to just destroy multiple amounts of people, and it's a very, very deadly weapon. So +1 in fire rate is probably one of the best kind of like stat changes you can hope for with this SVO. The minus, of course, is in the handling, and that means your sprint out time is going to be a little bit slower. This is quite a negative, to be honest. The sprint out time is equally important on sniper rifles. It's basically like a quick draw grip. It allows you to aim down sight faster after you've been sprinting, get your weapon kind of ready and up to shoot someone. But that's going to be decreased. That's going to be a little bit slower. So it's kind of hard to quit scope or react quickly. If you see someone, you're going to be a little bit slower than someone else who doesn't have it. And I like to think of the handling on snipers as almost like a quick draw grip. That's what that means. The next variant is the Fury. This is a professional version, and this is -1 in fire rate and +1 in mobility. So of course, like I just said, that's going to be a very, very bad thing. I wouldn't recommend the Fury at all. It's got -1 in fire rate, so that's a very, very bad thing for the weapon. And the plus is in mobility. So what that actually means for sniper rifles is actually aim down sight time, but it's so minuscule you won't even notice. It's literally like 1 or 2 frames. So mobility is pretty much just to be ignored on sniper rifles. It doesn't mean anything at all. So that's basically a very, very bad version. The only thing on this weapon is -1 in fire rate, so I would not recommend it at all. Then we've got the battle worn. This is an elite version. It's got +1 in accuracy, which is a very, very good thing. That means it's going to be slightly more accurate, not so much you'd notice it, and of course it still has that big kick. It kind of has to make it more of a balanced weapon, but it is going to be kind of slightly reduced with this +1 accuracy. It's got -2 in fire rate, so that's going to be very, very bad in terms of actually following up the shots. If you miss the first one, you're going to be very, very disadvantaged. And it's also got a +1 in handling, which, like I've said, is going to be the sprint out time. So that's kind of good there, but all in all, this weapon is very, very bad, and it doesn't really deserve the elite tag. Then we've got the royalty. That, of course, is a clone of the battle worn. The royalty weapons are exactly the same as one of the elite versions, and there's only one professional enlisted and elite version, so of course it's the same as battle worn. So the royalty is the same as the battle worn. I believe it also has +10% in range. That's what this generation, the third generation of royalty weapons, actually has, and this is, I believe, is included in that. So it has a little bit better range, but on sniper rifles, of course, that's never going to be noticed. There's no way that you can get them at big enough or a distance big enough where the range will be noticeable, so the range is pretty much to be ignored. So the royalty is basically the same as the battle worn. Then we're going to get into the big one. This is the Legendary SVO Return to Sender. The weapon you're seeing in this gameplay, the really cool pink and gold weapon. Now this is actually deserving of its Legendary tag. It's got +1 in accuracy. Like I've said, it's going to reduce the recoil slightly. It's got +1 in handling, so that means you're going to be able to have a slightly faster sprint out time, which means it's almost like a quick draw grip that you've got, so you can kind of be ready faster if you're sprinting, and your sprint out time is going to be slightly quicker. And the minus is in mobility, which, like I've said, is basically negligible on snipers. You can pretty much ignore it. It doesn't affect the weapon at all that you will ever notice in Advanced Warfare. It's basically the weapon that has only 2 positives and no negatives. This is a very, very good variant. Of course, it would be a little better if I had +1 in fire rate. This is definitely deserving of the Legendary tag, and after using a lot more, I remember my first initial thoughts, I didn't know whether it was worth the Legendary tag. It was kind of okay stats, but using it a lot more and kind of looking into the stats, it's definitely a very, very good weapon. So my personal recommendations for the best versions of the SVO sniper is the Enlisted version, the Eagle Eye, and the Legendary version, the Return to Sender. So if you get lucky or unlucky, just know that either one of those variants will definitely be very, very good. I want to know in the comment section which variants of the SVOs do you have. Leave your comments down below if you've got a Legendary version or elite version, or any variants that you have of this SVO. I'd be interested to know what kind of variants are out there and which are your favorites. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like rating. Make sure to stay tuned for more videos on this channel. Subscribe so you don't miss out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.